you doing here? This isn't a Spurs game, silly boy.
Coyote life.
When the road looks rough ahead and your mind.
Spurs Coyote is no stranger to the Spurs or San Antonians, and he's definitely no stranger to Great GDSA. But what is it like to be Coyote, and how does it impact the life of the person portraying such a notable character? Let's ask former Coyote Rob Wicall. Welcome, Rob! Hey. Oh, no, Rob. The shoelaces maybe were a little loose, something on the floor, y'all. Rob, thank you so much for being with us. What an honor to meet you. I've heard so much about your electrifying energy, and congratulations on the release of your book, Philosophy, okay? There's so many questions I want to ask you, and I think our audience too, like, oh my gosh, you know? But let's clarify the purpose and the meaning of why you wrote this book. We all might think it's like a memoir of your experience, but it's more relatable to everyone's life journey.
It's not that. It's more of the transformation that I got as a human being by being the Spurs Coyote, right?
Absolutely.
So things I learned by being the Spurs Coyote, by interacting with millions of people over those years.
Wow.
And I put that into a book, so hopefully somebody can read it and learn something from it.
And we were talking, it taught you things like less is more, be a good listener, work hard, obviously.
Exactly.
Like
the power of silence.
Can you go in a little more in depth of that? Because you did have to be silent.
Yes, so I say because I spoke with my body, not with my mouth, you had to listen to people, really listen, and then react afterwards instead of a lot of times you're thinking about what I'm gonna say and how I'm gonna respond while they're talking. I had to sit and be present and listen and then react.
My goodness, that is so tough. I am such a reactive human being. I want to talk, I want to say what I feel.
Yes,
so
me too.
How were you able to actually do that, and how did you keep your cool?
Well, you have no choice as the Coyote. I had to do it that way. And keeping your cool is great because as Rob, I'm not that, right? I'm a super outgoing guy. But as Coyote, you had to sort of let that noise go away, right? And remember that it's not worth it. It's not worth it when those fans are yelling and pointing to their jerseys and whatever might occur. It was never worth it to me. And that helps me in as a dad, by the way, right?
I'm sure, with patience and just like being there in the moment, being present.
So remembering those moments, how I acted as Coyote, which by the way was very intentional, very purposeful, very planned, right? I didn't just let things happen by happenstance. I had to make sure I knew how Coyote is going to react to every situation ahead of time.
And it's so fun, you know, I didn't want to make it sound like, oh, it's such a terrible job. It's actually the most exciting, fun job to have. I can't even imagine, but I admire that you were able to keep your literal cool during the hot temperature when you're under there, and also maybe just like not being overwhelmed, right?
Yeah. I tell a story in the book that's really crazy, sort of behind the scenes stuff, that I was flying to France and lost my head.
Literal, the Coyote head.
Lost the Coyote head at the Charles de Gaulle airport. And so I talk about in the book, don't lose your head.
Literal.
Right?
Keep
literally
your,
and figuratively.
your composure and figure it out.
Yeah.
And you definitely figured it out when Manu had the bat. I mean, he's had a couple bat instances, which is so funny that San Antonio has these bat scenarios. What was going through your mind? Everyone probably wants to know, were you afraid at all, or did you know you had to step in?
So actually, the first time I ever saw a bat was early, like I want to say 04, right? So I knew, oh man, I got to be ready next time. So I went out and I got this Batman costume and I bought a net from Academy, and I would fold it all and set it down out like right by my gear, just in case.
Oh
that was
gosh.
04. Manu, I put the costume on 09. I put it on. I'm so ready. My time has finally come. Manu swats the bat. If you look somewhere in the corner, you see me in a Batman costume holding a net going,
oh my, I mean, that
and I slump
Manu
off, take the costume off, put it back, and it wasn't until 2016 that I caught a bat. So you figured from 04 to 2016, every game I had set that out.
Whoa, I'm doing the math right now.
Yeah, preparation.
Wow, preparation is key, and that's another thing.
It's another lesson,
that can help you in life.
If I had quit putting that there, that moment would have happened. Somebody else would have caught a bat. C'est la vie. But because I was prepared, Coyote caught that bat. It was a big deal for the brand.
And I love it, like these opportunities of becoming, my question was, how did he even become Coyote? It was through an opportunity when you worked at SeaWorld.
Yes.
Someone told you to audition for the dance team. You made that.
Yeah, made this interactive team, met the mascot. And again, yes, I didn't even know that being a mascot was a job. I mean, we're talking whatever, 35 years ago now. So I didn't know that was a job. And then when I saw it was, I was like, I was born to do that.
You totally were.
I was
but you
already
always,
that guy.
I feel from what I've heard right now and talking to Rob last week, you're just someone who adapts and you do your best. So I think that's another great characteristic to have in life.
And by the way, that's a Spurs mantra that Popovich hounds on, right? Is pound the rock, is the way he says it, which is do your best every day.
Pound the rock, because we're going to get more rings.
Yeah.
Which year is this, Rob?
14.
14,
That's 14.
y'all. Well, while we're learning so much about Rob, why don't we learn a little more with the game we like to call Furball of Questions. Thank you so much, Sean. So we're just going to ask you some fun things that we just kind of off the cuff want to know. So let me mix. Actually, you pull one out.
This says, cross the line moments with fans?
Like, was there ever a fan that really crossed the line with you?
Sure,
Okay.
yes. Physically, it's crazy when people are drinking. It's not the kids, it's the adults.
Okay.
Right, that are drinking that got the craziest.
Well, yeah, of course. They act
Obviously,
more
I
like
always
it.
had someone with me, and what we were speaking to earlier, it was never worth it to engage. What are you gonna win?
Yeah.
Nothing.
And they're just so excited to see you.
Yes. So it was just, I always say, the best thing about being in a mascot costume is when I hear somebody, I can pretend like I don't.
You never heard
I
of-
didn't even know, and I just keep walking, and my
Perfect.
assistant handles it and pushes it out. Yeah.
I've shadowed Coyote, the recent Coyote right now.
Yes.
That is a hard job, y'all. You are.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
I can't. And you're wearing the costume, so I can't even imagine how you run around like
Well,
that.
I'll tell you that assistant is so important to do that.
Oh,
kind of
yes,
stuff,
to
make sure
control and make sure you're
yeah.
good. Okay, I know you started your first job in high school. He went to New Braunfels High School. Cool, go Unicorns.
Go Unicorns.
You were a water skier in SeaWorld.
Yes.
So water skiing or gymnastics, which do you prefer?
Water skiing.
Okay.
Water skiing. Easier on the body.
I'm gonna keep asking the questions here.
Yes, ma'am.
Here we go. One more. How hot does it get in the suit?
Amazingly hot, and I tell a quick story in the book about how hot I got during a river parade once because you're stuck and you can't get out or take the head off. And it was right when I took over, and I had no break. I had no way to get a break, and it about did me in.
Wow.
Yeah, I say my internal temperature gauge has been screwed up ever since.
Yeah, because now you're like, nothing gets hotter than that. Not
No,
this San
it was
Antonio heat, not at all.
ridiculous.
Well, thank you so much
Yes,
for having
ma'am.
fun with us,
Thank you
Rob.
so much, Roma.
So people
Appreciate
can
it.
find your book. It released, launched today, y'all,
Yay!
Philosophy.
That's not a joke.
Go to his website, Wicall Rob. Also follow him so you guys can hear his podcast.
Amazon.com or
Perfect.
social media.
All right.
Thank you so much, Roma.
Thank you. It was
everybody.
such a pleasure. GDSA
Appreciate
will
it,
be
San
right
Antonio.
back, y'all.